When Hamlet first sees the ghost of his father, and listens to him, even though the demand is terrifying, the demands to remember me, which is actually revenge thee, or revenge me. Prince Hamlet is actually ecstatic when the ghost leaves and he's left alone on stage in Act 1, Scene 5, lines 93. Oh, all you host of heaven, O earth, what else? And shall I couple hell? O fie, hold my heart, and you, my sinews, grow not instant old, but bear me stiffly up. Remember thee? I, that poor ghost, whilst memory holds a seat in this distracted globe, remember thee? Yea, from the table of my memory I'll wipe away all trivial fond records, all saws of books, all forms, all precious past that youth and observations copy there. In short, there'll be nothing on my mind. I've just seen the ghost of my father, who has given me a sort of reason to live, a sort of sense of purpose. Remember, we had just seen sort of Hamlet in his despondency, near clinical depression, because the world to him did look like Claudius presented it, which is just one father dying after another. Very depressing. None of us, even the most existential among us, takes well to that sort of scientific view of the world. That is, we very much don't like to think of ourselves as just animals dying again and again and going through what Julie Taymor called famously in The Lion King, the cycle of life. We may acknowledge the truth of that. It's incontrovertible evidence that if we haven't lost a father, we will at some point, and that our children will lose us, and life will go on, and we will be food for the antelope. But yet, there is something in us that longs for something else, something other, no matter how realistic or sort of pragmatic we are about that reality. We want to explain it. We want to embrace it. We want to celebrate it in song. The cycle of life. It's that beautiful song you probably remember from childhood, watching that film as a kid. Is really sort of a celebration, not of the cycle of life, but the cycle of death. And it's that desire to make or find something other in the face of that pressing reality that explodes onto the stage of Hamlet with the ghost. And that vision makes Prince Hamlet ecstatic. He's overcome with joy, manic even. Very often he's played in a sort of bipolar character. There was a Mel Gibson version several years ago in which this was really highlighted. And he tries to share that with Marcellus and Horatio, who resist him as, these are wild and whirling words, Prince Hamlet. And of course, he will slow down. The ghost, even though it provides this epiphanic moment of clarity for Prince Hamlet, starts to drift away in his imagination. That grand sense of otherness, that grand sense of the supernatural, that grand sense that, no, we aren't just all food for antelopes, starts to dissipate as the play moves along. Prince Hamlet starts to wonder, well, maybe I misjudged. Maybe I was duped by a demon. Maybe I am crazy. He loses that sort of immediate impetus for action, that being sort of in a moment that we all have.